Welcome to this week's North East Football Show. As you can see, we've come in the studio this week.
Coming up on this week's North East Football Show, we gotta go back.
Just roll the titles.
Your sunshine, your sunshine, your sunshine, shining down on me. Your sunshine, your sunshine, your sunshine, shining down on me. Your sunshine, your sunshine, your sunshine, shining down on me. Yes, your love is so high, you fill my heart with the joy. You are everything now that I've found you. I just want you to know there's nothing I wouldn't do. You are everything now that I've found you.
We should maybe go across to the Entertainers game first.
Yeah, we'll have a look back on the Entertainers. Obviously in there, Steve Harper's save,
Fantastic save.
Alan Shearer's team talk, and might even find one or two clips of me and you touching the ball.
Well, maybe if Nathan can get his finger out. But I'll tell you what will be really good. One of my highlights, to be honest, was, funnily enough, a Sunderland player, or I say player, Sunderland fan, interviewing Alan Shearer, which was you. Obviously, fantastic interview. Did you love it?
I did enjoy it. He come across really well. There was one or two things I wanted to find out, particularly about Match of the Day, which, as you know, he answered quite well. So, yeah, good interview.
Fantastic. Well, let's go over now and have a look at the Entertainer stuff, and also Les interviewing his idol. So we've arrived at the ground. Are you happy?
I am. Now and a quarter before kick-off, and there's people milling around. There's hundreds outside already.
You get your autograph a few times, yeah?
Yes, Newcastle shirts.
Well, you know, beggars can't be choosers, Les. There's no Sunderland shirts here, so we'll have to deal with the Newcastle ones. The ground looks fantastic. Obviously, the grass is great.
Grass, 4G.
Well,
Not
it
happy.
looks good anyway. You know, at least we'll not get injured as much, because I think playing on some of the grounds, we're playing in a couple of charity games, and this hasn't been the best, has it? And your touch isn't the best to start with, so it's probably better for you to be on here, to be honest.
Dream away. We are legends every day. That's what she told me. Turn your magic on. To me she'd say everything you want to dream away. Under this pressure.
Have a good day, don't get too injured, and good luck getting the tops on.
Heart beating. Feel my heart beneath my skin. I feel my heart beating. You make me feel like I'm alive again.
It was a question that I'd been asked on social media. Match of the Day.
Yep.
When you're there, how much work do you do prior to the scenes, or is a lot of it already done for you?
No, nothing's done for us. We have to. I leave Newcastle at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning-ish, get down to Manchester at about 11, watch the first game, come in at 12:30 and take our notes and do our analysis bits. And then, very similar at 3 o'clock, we have all the games coming through live, and then we pick a game which we think is going to be the biggest game of the day. Do exactly the same, sit and take our notes with the analysis guys. And the same again at 5:30, and then we go into the editing suite at about 8:30 for an hour, look at what we've done all day, and then go and get ready and go and sit on stage at about 10:15, and then we go on live at about 10:30, finish at midnight, and then jump in a car and back to Newcastle. So it's a long old day. It's a good day though. We get to watch football, so it's not so bad.
Yeah, do you get to watch the Sunderland games though? I'm a Sunderland fan, unfortunately.
I've got to watch them now and again, unfortunately, but it hasn't been pretty viewing this year, has it?
No, I mean, obviously this is the North East Football Show, so we need to include Sunderland, Newcastle and Middlesbrough. if you can tell me how you think all three will do.
I think Sunderland will have a long, hard season. I think David went into the job expecting to get more players in than he has done, and I think he would be probably disappointed with the number of players that he brought into the football club. And I hope he can do something about it in January, because I do genuinely believe he's a decent manager. I think it was a good appointment, but you've got to back him. And Middlesbrough, I think they'll have a better chance than Sunderland staying in the Premier League. I think they've had a decent start, nothing spectacular yet, but no, I think they'll have a decent chance of staying up. And
obviously Newcastle.
Well, it won't be as easy as everyone thinks, and I think the games that have happened so far tells you that it's going to be one long, hard slog, which it is in the Championship. But they should have enough to get up. I mean, particularly with the money that they've spent, they've certainly got the right guy in charge, and it looks as if he's been able to do things his way, which is vitally important, which is probably one of the reasons why he stayed. So yeah, I think we'll get promoted, but it certainly won't be a walk in the park.
Steve Harper save, one for the cameras.
Absolutely unbelievable. I mean, from where I was standing, it was going straight in the top stanch. He's reached out, clawed it over the top, but then on Twitter afterwards, he said that it was one for the cameras. I just wouldn't admit it, would you?
No, definitely not. I mean, I do want to move on because I'm sick to death of talking about Newcastle players, but do you want to tell everybody how much you raised that day?
Yeah, £53,000, which was an absolutely unbelievable amount. I mean, you know, it's all going to local charities, so well done everyone involved, and especially Steve, obviously, who organised it all. Amazing.
And obviously we've touched on you being a Newcastle fan. Everybody on the show knows that. But you were given a choice of interviews and you've chose two Sunderland players.
Well, you know, obviously know Mark and Darren quite well, so I thought I'd push them on the Sunderland side of things. You're always whinging on about having to do Newcastle players, so I thought I might as well get the lads and get the Sunderland ones out the way. So we caught up with them at Blythe and Benfield. So Con, we're here at Benfield. How's it going this season, the first season management?
Good. It's been good getting a full pre-season under my belt. Changing a few things around, getting some players in that we'd identified we needed. For one reason or another, I think things have just become a bit stale at the club. My thoughts have always been look to freshen stuff up with younger players and try and get the mix with them and a bit of experience.
I know we spoke in the summer, obviously off camera, and you mentioned the work that goes into it. How are you finding the workload now? Are you're not playing you more into the management side?
Originally, I kind of struggled with it because when you're a player, you turn up for the games, everything's put on for you, and you don't necessarily appreciate the people behind the scenes. You've got the committee here, you've got the people that work behind the bar, all voluntary workers. I think when you step on the other side, you see that. Obviously, I've got a full-time job and a family to support, so that comes first. It pays the bills. But I think if you can manage to just get the right balance and you've got a decent partner with you, you can work it.
But obviously, is this a project that you want to be here for? Obviously, the long term with Alan and pushing on, or is it something forward that you're looking on to management yourself?
Honestly, I've not looked that far beyond coming up here and helping Alan with the project of Blythe at the minute. My ambition was probably 3-4 years ago to be working at a professional club with lads that have left school 16 up to 21-year-old. Yeah. In all honesty, I think in the last year, probably year and a half, it's changed slightly, and I think I'm more inclined to want to go down the managerial route. Yeah.
Fantastic. But the one thing I'm thinking is there's no way you'll be able to teach your tackles to the kids. I mean, I remember watching this guy putting some tackles in and it's X-rated to say the least. So is that something that you can push on to these guys now? Your style of play, because you were, quite a hard player at the time.
I think me learning my trade was through all the professionals. Yeah. I think I was lucky enough to play in reserve team football against people that have played 400 league games and stuff like that. So you pick things up, you learn to look after yourself. So there's always little tricks and things that you can put into practice. I still try and emphasise those with academy kids because there's still some good things to learn. Maybe it's not all the things that I had in my locker, but definitely some things. But I think definitely in this day and age, I think the competitive side of it, has died a bit. If I'm honest, I mean, I watch games now where people roll around for 5 minutes. You wouldn't want to roll around for 5 minutes when I was playing football, because you get frowned upon. So I think football's in a sense has changed, but there's definitely stuff that I'm wanting to implement here and have an influence on with our defenders to go forward and help them as individuals and as a team.
That's the end of part 1. Join us in part 2.